I thought I would cover a topic that everyone seems to be asking. Not like to me, not right now in particularly, but just you always get people saying, what's the second bike to buy? 600 or 1000. And it can be a bit tricky. I even did some searching online, reading a lot of forums and that sort of thing, just to read up on it. I didn't let that influence my decision too much. I sort of went with what I felt I wanted. But there is a few pretty good points when considering the 600 versus the 1000. I'll get to them in a minute. I want to wait till I get on the freeway before I go into it. There's too much happening around here, and I want to give the road my concentration. Yeah, so as I was saying, okay, the reason I chose a 600 over a leader bike was a few reasons, not any one reason, but really, ultimately, you've got. This is from me, right? Coming from my Ninja 300, right? First year riding. And there's so many different sort of people. Some people are saying a 600 is too quick for the street. And then you get your other people who say a 600 is weak. It's slow, right? I just want to start by saying that my background, I've come from driving Skylines with massive turbos on. And anyone who knows, like, imports turbos that obviously aren't V8s, they haven't got a lot of torque, and if anything, once you put a big turbo on, you've got like this mad turbo lag. So in low RPM, you don't have much torque at all, and if you're racing a V8 on the freeway, as long as it's not a slow V8, it's going to pull away from you, man, until you hit boost, and then you're just going to leave the thing for dead. But really, so that's kind of what I was used to. So I'm not really, and I'm definitely not used to a torquey bike. And if anything, I don't really want a torquey bike because I think it would. Hang on, speed camera on this bridge right here. I don't really want a torquey bike, especially not in the twisties, because if anything, in my position, coming from a 300 that doesn't have much torque at all, I think I'd be more prone to low-siding it because of my throttle control isn't real good right now. I'm still learning. So that's one reason I chose the 600, was less torque. I love the high RPM. I love how high it revs. 16,000 RPM redline on the 636. I mean, let me tell you now, I cannot wait until that engine is broken in and I can ride that girl hard, man. I cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to it. Whereas I did notice the leader bikes say redline around 13, so a little less. Not saying, they probably don't need to rev any near as hard. They'll leave you for dead all the same, but I just wanted something that was high horsepower, but probably not as much torque. Another reason, which is something that a lot of people probably don't think about, is, in my opinion, the leader bike, the 1000, the R1, whatever, it's kind of like the top of the range bike, it's the quickest bike out there, apart from your 14s and your buses, right? But a good all-rounder, but it's still insanely quick, that'd be your leader bike, right? If I go buy a leader bike now, and then I spend the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, trying to perfect my skill on that bike, that's all good. But once you get to a level where, you're used to the power, and it still might scare the crap out of you, but you've kind of hit a ceiling, and you don't really have anything to look forward to. And I like looking forward to things, so for me, buying a 600 now is great, because I can spend the next 2 or 3, 4 years, whatever I choose, whatever I want, getting used to the bike and mastering the bike, or maybe getting close to mastering the bike, whatever, getting better on the bike. And then when I get to a level where I feel that I want something quicker, I can go out and buy the leader bike, and then I'll be impressed once again. I'm like, oh shit, this thing is quicker than my 6, and it's like, it's a lot quicker, and that's going to be awesome. I want something to look forward to long term down the track, so that's another psychological sort of reason why you'd choose a 6 over a leader bike right now. Obviously, you've got the higher purchase price. Not too much more. I think it was only about another $3,000 or something. Like, I mean, it's something to consider, but it's not enough to put you off. It's not like... Don't get me started on Ducatis, man. I don't know where they get off charging what they do, and then charging what they do to service them. Nice looking bikes, sound pretty good, whatever, but I'd never own a Ducati based on their running costs. I just wouldn't. I just would not. But yeah, so, you know, you got a higher purchase price, and then I don't really know about fuel economy. I think if you're on the freeway, you might be using even less fuel because, you know, you're a lower RPM, although bigger engine. I'm not really sure about that. I'd say if you were flogging it in the twisties, you'd probably be using more fuel on a liter bike. But I'm really not sure. Insurance costs, you're going to spend more on a liter bike because all they look at is horsepower and, you know, chance of wrecking, so they put the premium up. So you got cheaper running costs, possibly cheaper fuel too, I'd say, on a 600, depending on how you ride and what you do to it. And you know, most of us ride on the street, you know, like I've never even been to a track, man, and there is a track, you know, a couple of hours away, and I do plan on going there one day. But it's I'm on the street, man. I mean, I can break the freeway speed limit in first gear on a 600. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, you know. But I just see a 600 as plenty right now. So that's why I chose the 636, guys, and not a liter bike. Wasn't the cost played a small part, but mainly I wanted something to look forward to later, and I feel that I'm a strong believer of you know, not biting off more than you can chew, you know. There's the 636. I mean, I've ridden it a few times. I'm not really supposed to be riding it because I haven't, you know, whatever. I'm not going to go into details, but it's got a manageable amount of horsepower at a lower RPM. That's what I like about it. And it's still a brand new engine, so I can't see what it's like. But I did get on the freeway, and man, it is amazing. It's a good bike in the twisties, but it comes alive on the freeway, man. It's I guess it's the opposite of the 300. You know, this is a great bike in the twisties, but it fails a bit on the freeway, top end. You know, so it's really good, man. It's really good. That's why I chose 600, guys. I don't think I really have anything else to add on that. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys some new videos in a few weeks' time when I get legal. And I'm keeping the 300 for a little while as well, because here in Australia you have to have the upgraded, like, unrestricted license if you want to pillion someone, like a passenger, on a lower... It's really complicated. In Australia they just over-regulate things and they restrict things like crazy. And, you know, for example, you want to drive your four-wheel drive on the beach, you got to go buy like a $300 permit which says you can drive it on the beach for a weekend. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's so much like fun police in this country. So, but anyway, they've made the motorbike licensing really complicated. But when I go to my upgraded license, then I'll be able to legally carry my girlfriend on the back, only on a smaller bike though, not an up, like, oh, it's just messy. But that's why I'm keeping the 300 for a bit, so I can take my woman on the back. And yeah, that should be fun.